Giyuu is a really misunderstood character, and he is actually a deeper of a character than meets the eye. I mean, how we view him changed quite a bit in the story. When we first meet Giyuu, he comes off as this poised and a great warrior who seemingly has no weaknesses. And the first glimpse we get of who he is as a character was during the Narukuma Mountain arc, as Shinobu tells him nobody likes him. At the time, we thought so highly of Giyuu, and Shinobu basically violated him. That was the first glimpse we had gotten of his aloofness, and during the Hashira meeting, Giyuu was a loner, and you can see him standing a far away distance from the other Hashiras, seemingly not wanting to do anything with any of them. When Giyuu's past is revealed to us during the Hashira training arc, I've come to appreciate and respect Giyuu as a character way more. And during this arc, we learned that Giyuu was suffering from something called imposter syndrome, which basically means that he thought he was a fraud and was not worthy of his Hashira status and being even alive. Growing up, Giyuu had a sister named Sutako, and during a demon attack, his sister sacrificed herself to save him. And it's also important to note that Sutako was actually about to get married the next day, so she basically, you can say, at least Giyuu thought that she threw her entire life away. And of course, this devastated Giyuu, and it broke him to the point where it sent him into a deep depression. This was something that stayed with Giyuu for a long time, and he would only come out of it when he would meet Sabito. Sabito really helped him come out of the depression, and the two would become best friends training under Orokadaki. According to Giyuu, Sabito was a very kind boy with a strong sense of justice when he was still alive, and it was implied that Sabito was a selfless person as seen in Giyuu's flashback when it is revealed that he was the one who saved everyone in his group from the hand demon during his final selection, sacrificing himself in the process. And just when Giyuu was getting over the trauma of losing his sister Sutako, he lost another very close person in his life. And I personally think this was the major event that happened in his life, in where he no longer wanted to get close to another person. Giyuu is a very reserved and kind of keeps to himself most of the time. What's also important to note that is Shinobu always tried her very best to get Giyuu to open up and come out of his shell. But of course, as we know, she failed every time. What's interesting is that maybe, of course, this is not confirmed, but maybe Shinobu actually knew of his traumatic past. So that's why she sympathized with him and always tried to, get him out of his comfort zone. I mean, I think she knew just based on the dynamic between the two characters. The Hashiras all have had to overcome a very sad and traumatic past, and of course, Giyuu is no different. After the death of Sabito, Giyuu carried on and eventually rose to the rank of Hashira, becoming the water builder. Now, becoming a Hashira is no easy matter. Only a very talented and great swordsman rise and make it to the Hashira rank. And you also have to defeat a lower moon. So we can say for sure that Giyuu wasn't weak at all. And of course, I'm talking about prior to the Hashira training arc. So we can assume that Giyuu's imposter syndrome and doubt became after he had become a Hashira. And even though he was a Hashira, he believed that he shouldn't have been alive and that it should have been Sabito who was the rightful heir to Orokadaki, becoming the next water builder. Giyuu has been carrying the guilt of living for a long time, and every time he was standing next to the other Hashiras, he felt a sense of insecurity and felt that he did not belong standing next to them. And that's exactly what we see during the trial of Tanjiro. We saw Giyuu standing a fairly long way from the rest of the Hashiras and staring into the abyss. But this story has a beautiful ending, and it's not all sad and gloomy. Tanjiro was able to get Giyuu out of the slump before the final battle, and as Giyuu remembers a conversation that he had with Sabito, and basically where Sabito tells him that the people who had sacrificed themselves to save him wouldn't want to see him wallow in defeat forever and actually lead a life of happiness. Giyuu after that would join up with the rest of his fellow Hashiras and even having one of the most intense training duel with Senemi. During the battle between Agasa and Ham and Tanjiro, Giyuu felt a sense of great pride in seeing Tanjiro seemingly hold his own against an upper moon. He briefly has a flashback to the day when he first saved and met Tanjiro, and seeing just how far he had come was very worthwhile for Giyuu. Thanks for watching, and make sure to subscribe to the channel if you enjoyed the video, as I am willing to make this a series and will most likely do Shinobu next. That being said, until next time.